and then just sort of some inky splotches as well.
They're really, really nice. I love that as well.
It's very pretty.
They're nice size as well. And
it
then
is,
they will fit on that piece of paper that will go in the typewriter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, really lovely. So altogether, you're going to get 25 dies in there, and we don't know how many stamps.
Oh no, we have to count them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14. I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I'll do.
14 stamps.
So they're $24.99 now in the UK and $24.99 over in the US. If you are a kid subscriber, you can use your code and get an extra 10% off over on the website as well. Now I'm going to show you some samples, and Leo's actually going to make us a card while we're doing this. So I'll let Leo get ready to make a card, and while she's getting ready, I'll show you a quick couple of samples just to show you to start off with. Now this one I think is really lovely. So even though we showed you've got that die to go into the paper, look how they've used that there. So, and even so they've used the waste bit that comes out from this paper part as borders to go at the top and the bottom of the card, which is really lovely. And then you can see how they've used that die on there, and you've got the stamp and the stamp there. Really, really lovely.
I like that. It's really cute.
Isn't a different colourway to what I envisioned first of all as well. So that's really, really nice. And then I'll show you one more, and then we'll let Leo get started. How cute is that?
Oh, that's adorable. I like that.
I do. I really like that. It's like little birthday tags. I think that's really cute. And that's what you were saying, Leo, about they're separate, so you can have different colours behind the actual keys as well, which is really nice. That's really lovely.
Look quite realistic if you wanted to, or
yeah, you can make it like quite retro as well.
You could,
that's really nice.
So this is the card that I'm going to make it. This is quite an exciting set for me. So when I first joined Tonic, this was the first set of stamps I tested.
Oh, was it?
I then made all the samples for the packaging, and then I get to launch it and do the make as well.
So you're going the full circle.
Exactly. So this is one of the cards that I made for the packaging. So we're going to recreate it basically today. There's a couple of different techniques on here. Everyone knows how much I like to drop techniques into my notes. We're carrying on with that today. So first thing I'm going to do is for the ink bottle here, I'm actually going to do some masking. So I'm going to stamp this ink bottle onto a post-it note first of all. Other sticky notes are available. I'm going to make sure that I stamp it onto the actual sticky part at the top. It doesn't need to be perfect for this, because all I'm going to do is just cut this out with a pair of scissors. Probably should have bought some smaller scissors for some fussy.
I always fussy cut out with bigger ones than that. The largest Tonic ones, that's what I fussy cut out.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I think I'm just used to it. I think I've always fussy cut out with larger ones, so I'm just used to it now. I can't do it with small. So while Leo's cutting that out, I'm just going to show you. Now look at this one. Now, there were the dies that Leo was on about the books. So you can see how you can have the books there in the background. They've used the pen there as a border to go on the outside. And you see the letters there from the stamp set. And your Just My Type stamped in with the die there. So again, using different colours, you can see how different that is from the other two that I've shown you already. So you can really go in and mix and match these ones up. And then this is a nice one. Now this is the type of theme I thought of straight away, like your more vintagey type of theme. And you can see how they've used the stamps. They've got the ink splats on there that have been embossed. So they're giving you that nice raised effect. Now that I love. That's the first thing I thought was putting the feather onto vellum.
And cutting in the edges.
Yeah, like that. Really lovely with that ink bottle down the bottom. Are you ready for your next bit?
I am. So I've done for myself a tag. This is just using, it's a super simple luxury layering luggage tag die set. Wow, that is a name.
Yeah, I'm not even going with that one.
And I'm just going to stamp. So I'm basically making up my front panel here. So I'm going to stamp the ink bottle. I just realised I can actually bring any wet wipes down with me today.
Oh, I think there's some under the table next to you.
I'll have a look. Oh,
so there are.
Oh,
thank you to whoever left these down here.
I brought them down because I was sick of the desk being a mess after you lot being in your pit, stamping and colouring.
You're so mean.
That is so rude. So rude. Right. So I'm going to pop this onto my platform. Just make sure it's clean before I stick it onto the front of my card. So I want this roughly towards the bottom because I want to be able to get the feather in as well. The reason I'm doing the masking is so that I get the quill into the bottle without seeing the rest of the stamp going through the bottle, basically. So just simply ink this up. And I always like to stamp with a platform when I'm doing stuff like this so I can go back over it a second time if I need to.
It's always nice. You've got that security there, isn't it? That if it doesn't go quite right, you haven't wasted anything. You can just go back over it.
Exactly. I don't know about you. I can't line up a stamp a second time on a stamping.
No, I don't think anybody. It's impossible. It's impossible.
If you can do that, you're some kind of absolute genius.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to pop my mask in. I'm actually going to stamp that feather so I can get some colouring done. So put that one side. So this is where my little mask is going to come in. I've got ink all over my hands. So I'm going to move that up slightly, and then I can pop a little ink bottle back over the top with this little bit of sticky on there. Grab my quill stamp. I'm just going to sit this so it's set right into the ink bottle. And pick it up.
That's nice, and it's a nice technique as well, because like the bottle isn't that hard to actually just cut out either.
No, exactly. It's super quick to fussy cut that one. And I actually only really needed the top. I'm going to stamp this one in Metro Grey. I don't want it to be quite as dark, because I'm going to actually then colour this. Pop that in there we go, that looks good. So when I peel this off, you actually then lose the tip of the quill.
And then keep that post-it note. I always, if ever I'm masking anything, I'll keep the post-it bit in my stamp set.
Absolutely.
So then you've got that there then next time you want to do it.
In the future. Yeah. Perfect. And when I've got this on the platform, I'll just stamp my sentiment on the top as well. And I went with just a note to say, which is actually two different pieces together. So there is just a note. Don't look at how I'm storing my stamps. Terrible. And I actually did mask this off as well. So I'm just going to use another bit of post-it note to do that, because I don't want the dots on the end. See, all the tips today. So just a note. It's going to sit up here. And I'll put the to say underneath.
It's nice that they're like that though, and they're in the same font as well, so you can mix and match them up to make what you want them to say, which is nice.
So pop that in. I'm just going to stick my post-it note just over the dots on the end, just while I ink this up. And I'm sure lots of people do this with stamps. If you know, there's a random word in a sentiment that you don't want, just cover up the bit you don't want. Move your post-it note off. And there's my sentiment on the top.
Oh, that looks really nice already.
So now I can get to colouring. And I've got a whole bunch of different alcohol markers down. So I want kind of an inky colour in the bottle and then some feathery colours for the quill, obviously. So I've gone with French Navy for the bottle. And I also have today the blender pen so I can pull out some of the ink for some highlights as well. So I'm just going to really simply colour this in.
Okay, while Leah's colouring that in, I'm going to show you some more samples. Now, look at this one. How lovely is that with that kind of like ombre effect with the ink in the background? It really draws your eye in to that ink pad.
That is gorgeous. I love all those books on the shelf at the top.
I thought you were going to read the sentiment then.
I love you more than most. Aww.
That's what I thought you were going to say. I love, and then you read the books. They're really nice. And you can see, you can multiple use them as well, using them in different colours. You can see how you can really build up. Is that shelf, isn't it? Is that shelf? No, that's not in there, is there?
I wonder if they've used...
No, I don't think so.
No.
I can't see any pieces that they've used to build that, but you probably could with some of the book pieces. I think I did that actually on one of the samples. I used one of the long sort of...
I just worked out what it is. Right, so that is just a strip. So they've just cut that strip of card, and then this is one of them.
Yes,
so
it is.
So
Well
they've used
done.
the top, they've just cut one of them out and put it there to look like a shelf.
Laura's now crafted.
That is genius.
So you can see how you can use it to make a shelf as well. You could carry on putting them under there, couldn't you? Make like a table.
You could.
Yeah.
Lots of different things if you wanted to.
There's my top tip.
Wow, well done.
We've had one each now, Leah. And this, I think, is really cool. So completely going away from the typewriter and the books. But look at that. I can imagine putting some like, I want to say glossy accents, but it's not.
Crystal glaze.
Crystal glaze in there as well, just to make those top. That is really fun. That'd be lovely for like younger people as well. And you can see how they've used that notebook on there to make that border.
Okay, I'm just going to carry on colouring my feather wall.
Oh, you've done the bottle?
Yeah, so bottle's done, just some super simple, like I said on one of my last makes, I am not a colour artist. Me and alcohol markers, I know how to do the basics, but I'm not any.
You don't like to sit there for ages?
No, I'm not a professional colouring kind of person.
Yeah, but I don't think any of us class ourselves as professional.
Colourists.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I would spend hours colouring.
Really?
Blue.
Yeah.
It's good for
It's good for your mind as well, yeah. But it depends on what colour in as well, though, to be fair. You know, if
the nice shapes are good. Like this one's quite easy because it's a feather. It doesn't need to be perfect. I can just do it as, feather strokes basically.
That's my approach to colouring. That is.
Yeah.
I was always rubbish at staying in the lines when I was young.
Oh, it's good that you're supposed to think outside the box, Alan.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're creative from a child.
That's it.
So this one I've got here is, again, with that typewriter, with that note behind it and the glasses. But I think it really works just in the black and the blue. And with that background in there, I think that looks really lovely. I love the fact how detailed the key part of the typewriter is. It's really, really lovely. And you can see that they've kept
really nice with that.
They haven't put the sheet of paper in, but you can see that the stamp actually still fits in there, even if you haven't got the paper in. And then I got one more to show you. Look at that one. So this one now is just using the stamps, and they've just used that one die up there for that border of the paper, but that is really, really lovely. And you can see how they've used all those ink splats.
Mm-hmm.
I like that because I don't like making too much of a mess.
No, I don't like doing actual ink splats so much. I like my ink splats to be where I want them to be.
I can remember once I tried doing ink splats on a project, and for some reason I splattered the brush the wrong way, so I went to flick it and it literally all just went in my face and nothing went on the card at all.
Oh.
And then I think since then I thought, right, I'm going to stick to stamps and stick to it, being neat and tidy.
I did some of my Christmas cards I use like a red shimmer spray. I don't know if I've talked about this already. And I hadn't really used the shimmer spray so much before. I might have gone in a bit heavy-handed. Literally looked like Dexter had bitten there. There was just blood splatter everywhere. So I just added some gold over the top and, layered it up and carried on, basically, as you do.
I tell you, the worst one I've done is before I was going on air once, I went to put hairspray in my hair.
Right.
And for some reason, next to my hairspray bottle, I'd put my aerosol tin of spray glue.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Which
No.
I then realised after I'd sprayed like half the bottle in my hair.
Oh, no.
No.
What did you have to do?
I gone air with my hair literally like... I looked as if I'd put my fingers in a socket.
Wow, that's a good one. I think you win today, absolutely.
Yeah, but
Wow.
You have to see
what
if
do
you
we
find
do?
some
No.
photos and share them.
It's
That
bound to
was,
be somewhere, right? If we do some Googling.
That was a while back.
Mm.
But yeah, All I can say is luckily it washed out straight away. So,
oh yeah, otherwise you would have had to, imagine having to cut it out.
I'd have been bald.
See, it's a risky game, is crafting, isn't it?
It is.
It is a risky
You don't know what you're
game.
getting into, Alex.
No, not at all.
Don't put him on.
I think I've already done that.
So all I have done, I did sort of a little bit of prep ahead of time here. I have, using the rose in the stamp, I've stamped it in the background in clear mark, and I've used some clear embossing powder just to go over it. And now I am literally just doing a quick little bit of blending. So just in some green and kind of a pinky red. And this is just for my background piece.
That's really nice.
It's
It's softer than going in with like the alcohol pens.
It is, yeah, exactly.
Really lovely. So while you're just doing that blending, I'll show you some more of the card samples that I've got. So we've got this one. Now, I really like this one. It's like the rainbow feathers and then just using those stamps.
Oh, that is amazing.
It's really lovely, isn't it? Who's done this? Kate. That's a really, really lovely one. With those embossed on there. I think that is absolutely lovely. With that splat background again. It's going to haunt me now. And then we've got another one here. Look at that. So they've used some cardstock here to make like a frame and then putting that typewriter in with the glasses. Yeah, just my type.
Oh, look, it's my favourite, that foil craft paper.
I like foil craft. I love craft paper though.
I love
I think
craft paper.
craft paper is so underrated.
I don't use it enough. It should
No.
be a challenge to myself.
Christmas I seem to use it a lot though.
I think it lends itself to Christmas,
Yeah.
though, doesn't it?
Or vintage.
Or vintage, yeah.
Yeah. Now this one again, you can see how they've used. So this border they've cut from the dies to make your border, and then that bit is the actual negative. So that's essentially your waste that comes out of there, and they've used it to make those two borders. That'd be lovely if somebody like going to university, starting a new job or something with those books. Really nice. Oh, and those vines. I think that's the first time we've seen the vines. The bits of foliage. Yeah, it's because you do get the bit of foliage in there as well.
Yeah, it's just on there. Do I sit on there, isn't it?
What's that?
That's for the pens. You see the fountain pen?
That's the
little
like
clip. Yeah,
Go on.
exactly.
I'll have to find out whether it's on there.
I think my one from the packaging has one.
This I really like,
That is gorgeous. Look at that.
isn't it? So you've got those ink splats that have been stamped on there. You've got the paper, actually they've got multiple bits of paper in there with those gems on, and like that, I like the glitter on the typewriter, and then you've got the letters. I think that's really nice. It's like a simple background, but
Yeah.
with the dye, it looks really, really
Last thing I'm going to do with this is just taking a tissue and just going to quickly rub over this. It just kind of takes the ink back off the embossed part so that it looks white again, basically.
No, I really like that. That looks really nice.
Just simple. Probably not what Alex was expecting today. He thinks I come down here and do these really complicated things. No, today.
It's because he's new to it. He doesn't.
Yeah,
He's
that's what
learning.
it is.
He's
Yeah, that's what it
learning.
is. So I just did a simple card base, nice bit of blue satin foil in the background, and I'm going to crystal glaze the bottle just to show how I did it. But I would recommend that if you are using crystal glaze that you don't do it on your project, that you do leave it dry for 24 hours first. So I'm going to try very hard not to put my fingers on it. Famous last words. Probably not going to happen. So card base going on.
So what do? You put it on so when you've made this, you put it on the tag and then leave your tag somewhere to dry and put it on your card the next day.
Yeah,
Oh, do you?
Do you not do it that
No,
way?
I just put everything together and then whatever I want glaze.
Oh, you're brave. What if you mess it up though, and then it's on your card, and then that's it? You've got to make the whole thing again.
Then that's what butterflies are for.
True. I mean, it would be a very big butterfly to cover that entire ink colour. So I guess you probably could do it at some point.
Famous last words.
Famous
Just stick a
last
butterfly
words,
on it.
Absolutely. There are no mistakes, just excuses for embellishment.
Yeah.
Pop that at a bit of a jaunty angle. And I'm going to pop this on with some foam pens.
But while you're doing that, I think I've got one more card that I can show you, which is super cute. Look at those glasses.
Oh, I love those in that iridescent mirror.
They look really cool. You've got the typewriter. So this is the stamp that you've just used for your background, that rose stamp. So you can see how different it looks there, where it's been stamped and coloured, and you can see those vines on it. I love that they've actually used what looks like paper for that actual bit of paper with the die on the back. I think that looks really
nice. It looks like an
effective.
actual piece of notebook.
Yeah. That's actually good, because you can pick notebooks up like really cheap, and then you can die cut.
Rip them up to make your cards.
Everything's cardstock.
Everything is. Yeah, you can reuse everything.
I'm trying to find. Oh, I've got one. So that die that I asked what it was.
Yeah, there you go. That's my sample one.
So that little clip to go on your pen. So that's what it was. I was looking at it and I was like, it looks like the thing to go to clock.
Like a hand.
Yeah. And I was like, but there's no clock. I was so confused. So that's what it is. It goes on your pen.
It does. So I'm just putting my sentiment piece together. Just super simple. Nice pair of long scissors, you know.
Yes. Do you measure your mats and layers?
For card bases, yes.
Do you?
My basic layers, I tend to.
I just asked Cara no, but she said no.
No?
She was telling us how the measurements of her mats and layers, and I was a bit shocked that she measured her mats and layers.
Yeah, I do. So I normally make standard A5 size cards. So I would always cut my A4 down to 14.85 and then score at 10.5. And it's
okay.
14.85.
And she knows the measurements off the top of her head.
I've made, one or two cards in my so,
that's dedication, that is.
Yeah. But yeah, I would then step it down by either a centimetre or half a centimetre. See, I work in centimetres. I know a lot of crafters still
I
work
do
in
inches. Yeah.
I am new school and I use centimetres. So pop my sentiment on there, and then we're going to get some crystal glaze out and do the bit that we would
That looks
recommend
lovely, Leo.
you leave. So crystal glaze, literally just clear, I don't even know what it is, magic stuff.
Yeah, it just dries so it looks like whatever's on it looks wet to me.
Yeah,
It's got that shine.
I'm nervous now after you said about letting it dry.
Me too, especially since I think this might be blocked. No, come on.
Don't do what I did last week. So when I was on air last week, because I always use Loveable glue when I'm on air, and my nozzle had got stuck, so I put my pokey tool in there, thinking it'll be fine. So I put my pokey tool in and I give it a shake. I went like that. So I went to put it on my card, put my die cut on. The whole top came off, and literally half the bottle just went.
Oh, no.
I have seen a similar incident happen on air for someone.
Yeah, it happened to me last week.
Oh. So what did you just write? That was just a card gone, like.
Yeah, I kind of like sweeped it over. So I had like a big lump of glue there. So I was just putting all my die cut bits on this big lump of glue, and I kind of carried on. And I was like, obviously, you're not going to have that bit of glue in the corner, but this is what you can make.
So, yeah, never the professional, Nick.
Just carry on. Yeah. It doesn't want to. It's cold. It's cold.
There
That's
we
what it
go.
is. It's cold.
There we go.
Fixed it. Let's just put that over there. Crystal glaze. What I like to do is puddle up a bit in the middle, and then I use a paintbrush basically just to move it to the edges. So you're not painting it on, you're just kind of moving.
Yeah, I think if you're used to like Nouveau drops, it works the same way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It holds its shape. So once you've got it into whatever shape you need it to be, if you just put it down, it comes out like Nouveau drops. You're going to have those little drops, but you can manipulate it like this, and it'll stay in its shape. And it does give you, if you put a lot on there, it'll still give you kind of a domed effect as well,
exactly.
which is really nice actually for like a bottle like this.
which is why you don't want to paint it on. So you don't want your brush to be touching the paper. You're literally just using the brush to
move it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really hard to try and explain that probably on camera, but definitely something to have a go. Anything that is glassy. What did I do recently? So I made some stained glass looking patterns using it. So with my die cut pieces, I paper piece them back in and then put some of this over the top to make it look like stained glass. So that's a really nice way of using it. It looked very similar to like the glass. And depending again on how thick you put it, you can have just a very thin kind of sheer layer, or you can build it up.
Yeah, it is really nice. Like even the glasses, the dies of the glasses that are in the set, you could put it in there.
So you could use like a foil or a grey cardstock for the glasses in this set, and then put some crystal glaze over the top to give them that kind of glass-looking finish.
Could you use it on if you just put it in the whole of the die cut, so it just look like glass? So if you put it like the glasses.
If you put the glasses on
straight onto like white, like black glasses on the white card, and then use the crystal glaze in the middle bit. So
you could so if you put the die cut down, you could essentially just like fill the gap, and then the what is it called?
Crystal
glaze. That's not staying, is it? At all. Will just stay within that die then. Yeah. Which is really nice.
I guess if you put like a piece of acetate on the back, you could maybe peel it off, so it would actually end up being a clear.
Her glasses.
Oh yeah, you would need to peel the acetate off.
Yeah.
Leave it on. Almost there. It's thinner than a Nuvo drop, so it is easier to push it around. Try not to put too much on now. I'm near the end. I can't hide it in the rest of the bottle. But it does move really nicely just with a paintbrush, or I guess you could use like a toothpick or something like that as well if you don't want to put a paintbrush in it, but it does wash out as long as you wash your paintbrush straight away.
See, I'd be not good at that.
Not washing things straight away.
Yeah.
And there we go.
That does look so effective though.
So that is my finished card. I'm not going to lift it up because I don't want my crystal glaze to run everywhere.
If I lift this one up, here, you'll see. There you go. You can really see how the shine comes on that. So it does look as if that ink bottle is full of ink.
It looks like you've put like a plastic like sticker or something over the top.
Yeah.
Like you could just peel it off and it just come off fine.
You can see how that catches the light. That is so lovely, especially like that on the bottle, because obviously you'd expect it to either be glass or be shiny from the ink coming through. It's really lovely. Thank you, Leo. So thank you so much for joining us today. So do tag us in your makes, show us what you're going to make with these, and tell us what you're going to be doing. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And happy crafting.
Happy crafting.